to see you. Welcome to my little cottage. There are so many dear old friends. Lucy, darling, how are you beautiful chrysanthemums? Speechless she is. Griselda, you must tell the vicar how much I enjoyed his sermon on Sunday.
Oh, it was lovely.
Oh, I agree. Oh, Dolly, I do hope the Colonel has recovered from his cough.
Yes.
Wonderful, because it's such a terrible thing to be stricken with cough. Now, my dear friends, I do believe all of you would like to say hello, but since there are so many of you, why don't we take care of it all together? I shall count to 3, and on the count of 3, you shall shout out all at once, well, hello, my dear. My, oh my, don't you look lovely today. Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Well,
hello, my dear. My, oh my, don't you look lovely today?
Really, my dear, though you shall make an old lady blush. Well, down to business, shall we? As all of you know, just 6 months ago, on August the 7th, 1957, our dear little village of St. Mary Mead was woefully beset by murder.
Oh.
Yes, and a horrible murder it was. Will people never change? Here we are in these modern times, and the human animal is just as cruel and savage as it ever was. Well, I am delighted to announce that at last the murder has been solved, and as is sometimes the case, your dear little friend Miss Jane Marple had some slight opportunity of assisting in the investigation. And having all the facts I did not have at the time, I am now ready to share the story. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Then do sit back and pour yourself a cup of tea, for I find nothing goes quite so well with murder as a nice cup of tea. So where shall we begin? Well, of course, it was late in the night, and scattered here and there throughout the village were all of our story's most important characters. My dear friends, can you guess just which 2 of these people were meeting in secret that night?
The 2 on the couch.
The 2 on the couch. But my friends, can you guess where they were meeting?
The couch.
Well, that's not a good response.
And it is precisely why I've asked you to meet me here at this late hour, James. I am having an affair.
With who?
I cannot say, but I am scared because I think my husband may have found out.
If Charles has found out, that means the rest of the town might know.
It's true, brother. James, as my oldest brother, you must help me. I'm terribly scared. The whole town, if the whole town knows, my reputation will be amiss.
If that were to happen, that means Father will leave us out of his will.
Oh, no!
Yes.
Not
The will.
Oh, and yet I counted so much on that inheritance. Every penny, everything that came from the canning factory. James, I tell you, because you've always fixed things for me in the past, you remember?
Of course. But it's time that you have taken responsibility for your own life.
No!
Yes!
No.
Yes!
No!
All right, Sheila.
I have really interesting news.
Go, do tell.
I believe that Shirley is having an affair.
Shirley.
Shirley.
Oh. I always knew she was so dead.
She reeks of, disgustingness.
Nancy.
Oh,
Yes.
you don't like her, do you?
No, I shan't say that I do, Sheila. You see, she once told me that I was too plain for a dance.
You two have a history?
Yes, I never told you.
No, you haven't.
I tried to write my name upon her dance book. She took the pencil out of my hand and broke it in twain. And then threw it at my feet and said, "No, sir, you are too plain."
In that moment, Sheila grew enraged. What did she say to Gordon? Can you guess? Oh, come now, dears, you can guess. What's that?
You don't say.
She was so enraged, she screamed, "You don't say." You don't say! You don't say! You don't say!
Now remain calm, darling.
You don't know me when I'm not calm, because this is calm right now.
Sheila, please, darling, have a spot of tea. It's your favorite.
The only spot that you're going to see is on your head, and it's going to be mine.
Well, surely you had an occasional roll in the hay with a gent before I came along.
I surely did
You are not so
Gordon,
pristine as...
you haven't checked.
You mean all through the war you were unsullied?
But of course, I was writing to you. My beloved Gordon, who...
Well, I was stationed in France. What do you think happened?
I thought you were shooting people.
Well, I did that sometimes, but Paris is beautiful.
I'm afraid this means that we must divorce.
Oh, don't be so dramatic, Sheila. We can't divorce. This is England.
But then I'm not going to cook for you anymore.
We have a chef, 2 maids, and a butler.
Well, there is one thing that I don't believe you're doing elsewhere.
Touché, Sheila. How can I win back your love?
Well, first of all, you're going to have to tell me all about your relationship with this woman.
She didn't want to dance with me.
That's
It's
it?
a French woman. Yes, just the one French woman. There was a dark night, and there were bombs raining down.
Oh, so you're very scared that it was going to be the very last
And I
moment that you
just
would ever be alive.
That's right, and I just wanted to spend it in...
With me?
Yes, and I pretended she was you.
Of course you did.
I called her Sheila the whole time. And she slapped me, but I kind of like that anyway.
I
Darling, let's forget all about this. I shall take you in hand and we shall go have a nice roast beef dinner.
know. But I'm not cooking.
Of course not, darling, of course not.
Well, Margaret, I appreciate you meeting me out here in the garden. I'm afraid we have something to discuss.
What is it, Robert?
Well, I'll come right to the point. You and I have been married for 12 years now, and I'm afraid all of the zest has gone out of my relationship with you. I feel nothing for you anymore, Margaret. Absolutely nothing.
After 12 years, Robert?
After the first year, I felt very little.
I felt nothing for you the day we married.
Oh.
Why, my dear friends, can you guess why Margaret would have married him if she felt nothing for him?
Money.
Naturally.
I loved you for your millions. Or better yet, I loved your millions.
I am under no misconception, dear, about what led you to our bridal bed. But as life turns hither and yon, so a turn has come. I've met someone, and I have engaged in an illicit affair with her.
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes, I say!
Robert! I just won't stand for it. This is England.
Margaret, I am having an affair with Shirley.
Oh, that cow!
How dare you speak of my love like that? She looks into my eyes, Margaret, and she sees more than dollar signs.
In fact, what does Shirley see when she looks into our dear Robert's eyes?
More than.
Also dollar signs.
She sees more than dollar signs. She sees dollar signs.
Oh, how is that supposed to make me look? Oh, this is dreadful.
Now, Margaret, although I have decided that you and I shall no longer be, as we say, an item, I must confess that over the years I have enough affection for you that I don't want to see you suffer. I am willing and ready to offer you this check for £10,000, Margaret.
All I heard was alimony.
Margaret, do be sensible. Take this check. Leave St. Mary's Mead and allow our lives to go in the direction that will make both of us happy.
My dear friends, can you guess? Did she take the check or did she not?
No.
Definitively not.
You have millions, Robert. Millions.
Margaret, if you choose to remain, then you must understand there shall be a wall of ice between us. But if you breathe one word of my indiscretion with my love, Shirley, to anyone, I'll see to it that you are cut off without a dime.
If I wasn't British, you'd see me bursting with rage. But I am containing it as best I can.
Well, you're doing a very bad job.
Mother,
Yes, dear.
please have a seat. May I pour you some tea?
Oh, please, yes.
Mother, I have some dreadful news to share with you.
Well, what could it be?
I'm afraid that I cannot cover for my sister Shirley any longer.
Well, cover for what?
Remember that time when I was 18 years old and you caught me in a room with another man?
Yes.
Another boy? Well, actually, that was Shirley with another boy.
Oh,
She didn't want to be caught by you, so therefore she asked me to take her place.
well. So you're not homosexual then? Oh,
Well, that's beside the point, mother. You see, I'm sorry to admit, and I didn't want you to hear it from the grapevine, as it were, but Shirley's having an affair.
oh, my dear. How dare you say such a thing in this house? Why, the mantle will rattle and the sculptures will fall down and crack if anybody were to hear this.
Yes, Mother, I'm telling you the truth. I can see it in your eyes that you do not believe me, or maybe you do not wish to believe me.
I cannot believe that my daughter would do such a thing.
Well, she has.
Foolish! Foolish!
Are you taking her word over mine?
Well, how do you know that she's having an affair?
Because she told me herself.
This cannot stand. No, no, no.
In fact, oh, Mother Hubbard was so upset that she voiced in that morning a threat. What did she say could not happen? She threatened something. Can you guess what it was?
No more tea.
That would be awful.
My dear boy, this cannot happen in the house of Hubbard. In fact, I shall now drink the last cup of tea. Oh, delicious it is.
The last cup, Mother.
There shall be no more tea.
No more tea.
No more tea.
Oh, Mother, this is not fair.
Do not stamp your feet like a child that you are. Oh, no more tea, I said. No more tea. The Hubbard house, although built upon tin manufacturing, has a vested interest in tea, as you well know. Tea purchasers use our tins, and they are the largest purchasers of our tins. And so you see, if this is true, there will be no more tea.
Mother, you must put the entire inheritance in my name. If word gets out, then I do not know what will happen to the family name. At least assure it to me. Assure it to me, Mother. I will not let the family down. I will take our business and make it even more flourish. I will take our name and make it something more admirable than it is now. And because of my sister, everything that we have worked for could come crashing down, Mother.
What you are saying at this moment, you are asking me to disinherit my flesh and blood.
I'm asking for you to inherit a new outlook for our family.
I will think it over. But if this news of her affair is true, and if it does get out, that's one thing. If I do disinherit her, you know something worse may happen.
I hope not.
Oh, Margaret, come into my living room. Dear sister Margaret. Oh, I just redecorated, since you and Robert have been so delightfully supportive. I've been able to get all this beautiful mantle sculpturing, and I got these gorgeous curtains, and what?
Stop talking about Robert. I don't even want to hear his name.
Oh, but he's been so lovely to us. Look at this place. I wouldn't have it if not for your dear Robert.
He's made me look like such a fool, Caroline.
What is it, dear?
He's having an affair.
What?
An affair!
But who would go for Robert?
That's my point.
Oh, I thought it was a sure thing with the two of you. Oh, dear. Have some tea.
Well, did you understand? I'm going to take him for all his money, so what's left? Why would she want him? I hate her, and I hate him.
Oh, dear, I'm so glad you brought up money.
In that moment, Caroline had an idea to give advice to Margaret about her predicament. Can you guess what it was? How gruesome!
I've got just the idea, Margaret. So, I've always fantasized about doing some things that might not be, super legal. What if we kill the bastard?
What a lovely idea! Yes! Why didn't I think of that? Imagine how it might feel.
Oh, well, I think we could use, perhaps a cord, like the phone cord.
Yes.
We tie it around his neck. You pull one end, I pull the other. We all cross the whole room, and we just strangle the boy, eh?
And just in that moment across town, Robert was with his beloved.
Shirley, darling.
Oh, Robert, that was a lovely festival ride. Thank you, dear.
I say, isn't London Park glorious at this time of year?
Oh, I can smell the flowers, and I can smell your love. Your love.
Did you say man love?
Man love. I can smell your man love.
For a moment, darling, I thought perhaps that you too were somehow enchanted by my bank account rather than the contents of my heart.
Oh, look, a flower.
What a delightful change of topic.
Robert, I know that you're rich, but I'm rich too, which makes us the perfect pair.
Oh, Shirley, can you imagine the two of us together in the beautiful house that stands upon that hill, you sitting on the sofa with maids aplenty gathered about you, catering to your every whim.
I can imagine it. Say it again.
Catering to your every whim.
Oh, Robert, I can imagine it. Can you imagine the children we'll have? You know that, well, Warden, no children.
Ah.
House, no children. Everyone I've met, no children.
Surely I shall pump you full of children. Why, Shirley, I tell you, darling, now that you and I have finally met, why, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
Now that you and I have finally met, while there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. Oh, such loving words. And though after those words were spoken, someone in our story breathed a final breath. Oh. But can you guess who?
Her husband.
Robert.
My dears, which one of these poor folks was found to be dead?
Mother.
Robert. Robert. Robert.
I heard the mother. And poor Mother Hubbard's body was discovered like this.
Shirley! Shirley!
Is it true?
It's true.
Oh.
She's dead. Mother's dead.
What happened?
Well, I went to the library after speaking to her last and to research some things in the law books, but I decided to come back home. You see, we had a little bit of a tiff, and I felt really bad, so I went outside for some fresh air to calm my nerves for an hour or two. Upon my return home, I saw Mother strewn right there in the living room, laid out.
Right there in front of the window?
Yes, right there in front of the window.
Laid out?
Yes.
What was the tiff? Never mind, tell me more. How did you see her? Was there anyone else nearby?
Yes, there was tea pouring out of her mouth. It's almost, she was drowning on tea here. It's as though someone took tea and just forced it and choked her with tea.
Oh, choking with tea. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It's a death nobody would want. It is horrible.
Sure.
What?
I must tell you that the last thing I had told Mother was regarding your adultery affair.
You told?
I have to tell her.
If you told her, who knows who else knows? How dare you? James.
Well, the person who possibly murdered her and found out. I do not know exactly why.
James, I've trusted you. You betrayed me.
My dear friends, knocking at that door at that moment was St. Mary Mead's most refined Detective Inspector Craddock.
Hello, I was knocking, but no one let me in, so the door was unlocked.
Inspector Craddock, please. Yes, I'm so sorry. We are rather distraught. Please, come in.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me into your lovely home.
Would you care for a spot of tea, perhaps?
Oh, I would never deny it. Oh, everyone knows that the Hubbards have the best tea in all of St. Mary Mead.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Inspector, this news is
Dreadful.
it's beyond belief.
I'm so terribly sorry to hear about your mother.
Thank you, Inspector.
James found her.
Yes, it's all in the report.
Yes. Where were you in all of this? The time of the death.
Well, I was right outside the bay window, actually. I had just returned from the park, and I saw a shadowy figure up in the window. I walked by, and I felt a looming presence. And then I looked up, and it was like, and I thought, who is in my house? Would my mother be safe? Would James be safe? So then I tiptoed over to the main entrance, and again I looked up. And at that point, I saw liquid flying into the air. And then, out the back door, I saw Gordon running. That's right, Gordon. And so, breaking Gordon.
Gordon!
I know of the man. He has a history of breaking and entering. as a matter of fact.
Does he?
And he has always resented me for turning him down.
Well, then you must go arrest him, detective. Immediately.
Well, I haven't finished my tea yet, have I?
Please, let him finish his tea. It's Mother Hubbard's tea.
It's quite nice. Now, I understand it, that now that your mother is dead, one of you, but not both, will inherit all that there is of the canning factory, this beautiful home.
Well, yes, naturally, of course.
So which one of you is it?
Well, it's going to be me. I'm the eldest.
Well,
Naturally, it will go to me.
the last I saw the will, it was I.
You saw the will.
Well, Mother was asking for something, a spelling situation.
Well, Mother was never a good speller, but it's definitely my name. Just because she asked you that question, it's me.
Surely you can't be serious.
My name. I'm always serious.
No, I'm speaking to him, dear.
Yes, very serious. Very serious.
Well, that puts us at a predicament, because your mother seemed to have died under mysterious circumstances, and now I hear it that you are to inherit all of this. So how was your relationship with your mother, sir?
Are you accusing me of murdering my own mother, Inspector, in my own home?
Absolutely not. I simply want to get all the evidence. You want the murderer found, which surely you do, not you.
I love my mother. You want to know the relationship that I had with my mother? Well, I shall tell you now. I loved her. She was the most dearest person to me. Father was always absent and busy. He was never quite there. Being the eldest, I always had to take reins and be the father figure for my sister here.
In that moment, my dear friends, James made a confession. Something he was embarrassed of. Something between him and his mother when he was a little child. Can you guess what it was?
He bathed with her.
Bathed with her.
Ew.
I bathed with her. I'm not ashamed of it.
That is why I heard all the giggling coming from the bathroom.
Yes, that is exactly why.
Oh, James.
It was a ritual. There was a sort of a baptism of each time. It was a cleansing. You see, we trusted each other. That is a testament to how much we care.
Trusted.
Yes.
James, don't you know? She's everything you weren't. She bathed you because you were dirty.
I will hear no more of these insults in my own home. I must leave.
Shirley,
Is
before
that
I
all
take...
me? Are you calling me Shirley now?
You're the only one in the room. I shall take my leave as well.
Margaret,
Robert.
I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me that you did not kill my Shirley's mother.
Robert!
I know you, Margaret, and I know what you're capable of. You're a vindictive woman, Margaret.
If I wanted to kill a Hubbard, it wouldn't have been Mother Hubbard, it would have been Shirley!
And so you admit that murder lies within the scope of your possibilities, do you?
Yes! I'm not above murder, Robert. But do you think I would do it, actually? We live in a small town, Robert. More than likely, I would pay someone to do it.
Are you confessing or not?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Robert.
Ridiculous. I've seen you be cruel, Margaret. I've seen you be cruel to the milk delivery man. I've seen you be cruel to the newspaper delivery boy. I've seen you be cruel to the clerks at the supermarket. I've seen you be cruel to the children at the local elementary school. I've seen you be cruel to our little kitten, Smoke.
All I heard was the $1 million you were going to give me for leaving me. That's all I heard.
Margaret, I tell you that if I find out that your finger was in this pie to any extent whatsoever,
You'll rue it! You'll rue it, I say!
You'll rue it! You'll rue it, I say! Oh, my dears. While lightning might not strike twice in the same place, murder most often does. And after those words were spoken, another person in our story was found to be dead. But can you guess who it was?
It's gotta be
Margaret.
It's gotta be Margaret.
Margaret. No.
Maggie's gotta go. Margaret.
Surely it's
Okay,
Shirley.
I hear you. We're going to vote. Was it Margaret?
Yes.
No.
Was it the brother, James?
Brother. James. James.
I'm afraid James breathed the final breath.
Woo.
That poor soul's body was discovered like this.
Oh, Inspector Craddock, thank you so much for coming into my home. It's about the neighbor. Just dreadful. I was just walking down my stoop, my lovely, freshly gardened stoop, and there, on the ground, I can't even speak it. It was James, the neighbor James. He was such a sweet boy. Well, I was just going out down the path to get the newspaper, and I happened to stumble upon something. I looked down beneath me, and there was a hand. And I thought to myself, well, that's quite odd, just a hand. And so I went and lifted up a tree, bush type thing, you know, like a limb. There we go, that's the word, a tree limb. Yes, I lifted up the tree limb, and underneath it was poor dear James. And he was just lying there with an expression on his face just like this. Oh, it was just terrible, I say terrible. And I figured I would just come right to you because we all know how guilty neighbors look, right, when things like this happen. Oh, some tea?
Yes, I'd love some.
Oh, great. So I figure, what's harm in a preemptive call to Inspector Craddock to come on by?
Caroline,
Yes.
is that the limb or branch is the terminology
Oh!
used right over there?
Yes, evidence. I figured keep all the evidence. You never know.
Yes, would you mind fetching it?
Oh, yes, it's a bit heavy. Just give me... It's coming.
All right.
Oh, the table's in the way, that way. Just quite to work out. Yes, you see, I dragged it inside. I figured it's always good to keep every speck of evidence, as I said.
Well, after a thorough examination, I have discovered there's nothing to be learned from this. Not from me, at least, but we do have a certain constable in my employ who is an expert in all things vegetation. He's waiting just outside. Constable Knickerbocker, would you please join us?
Oh, Inspector! Oh! What have we here?
Oh, it's a bush-like limb tree thing.
Some might call it a branch.
Yes, that was the word! Branch!
Let me tell you what it is. In Latin, it is a Pilocarpus indemortis. And here, you will see, just under this leaf, a very rare moth.
Oh, it's quite a large moth.
This moth only grows in this type of Pilocarpus. Inspector,
A moss.
a most deadly moth.
Yes,
Moth.
a most deadly moth.
In fact, I shouldn't even be holding it. Oh my! Do you have a handkerchief?
No, I certainly do.
This deadly moth. I must wipe my hands quickly. Take that off. I should put it in evidence for you.
Please do that, Knickerbocker.
Oh.
One last thing. Where would this moth be native to?
This moth is native to Brazil.
Oh, Brazilian moth.
Although it has been known to migrate to New Zealand. And from there, this particular moth has mated, as you can see, with a rare butterfly. This butterfly is strictly female. Therefore, we know that this moth is male.
Knickerbocker, all of this information is very helpful for my general learning, though I'm not sure it's fully relevant to the case. I think we should take this branch into... Oh, dear, this is heavy.
Let me help you.
All right, we will take this into evidence, examine it thoroughly, and be right back on the case, Caroline. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, Shirley, darling Shirley. You must be so distraught. Do sit down and let me tend to you. I don't know how you are so strong. Stand up in the loss of first your dear, dear mother.
Now my brother gone.
If you need to cry, do cry. Let it all out. Just a little more, I suppose. You have never been more... Never have I seen such genuine grief. Dear Shirley, I know that you have suffered terribly from this, but nonetheless, surely you can't mean that you wish for us to spend some time apart in light of your grieving.
Oh, Robert, I just feel like there's suspicion if we continue our tete-a-tete.
But darling, in some ways, we must look upon the death of your immediate family as a blessing. You see, now you are released from all the oppressive burden under which you grew. No more need to worry about the tin factory or the surplus tea or the ledgers or all the other nonsense that used to keep your poor brow wrinkled with stress. Why don't you and I leave St. Mary's Mead? Why don't we leave England altogether, shake the dust, as they say, from this town and head off to a new adventure unencumbered?
America?
If that's where you wish to go, my love, I shall take you to America.
Oh, Robert, when I said I saw dollar signs, I meant it. America, dollar signs.
Oh. Again, darling, for one moment there, I must confess, a shadow of a hint of a whisper of doubt crept into... Darling, are you menacingly twirling your hair?
Oh, no. Oh, Robert, don't be silly. I don't menace anything. I'm so distraught. And only you, Robert.
Are you lying to me?
Well, yes, I'm lying to you.
Shirley?
I'm serious, Robert. I've been toying with you, it's true.
How could you, Shirley?
Well, Robert, because I'm just not good with men.
Shirley,
What?
if you're suggesting that I broke off my marriage with Margaret, as broken as it was to begin with, at least it satisfied my position in society. But now you're telling me that I've given all of that up for you, and you don't, in fact, have genuine esteem for me?
I have genuine esteem, I just don't love you. I would put you on all kinds of pedestals. I think you're amazing. You're resourceful. You know how to make money grow. You know how to spin a yarn. You know all kinds of things, Robert. I just don't fancy you in that way, but I think we could go go far. When I said it in the park, I meant it.
You're scheming with me! You told me you loved me!
Well, Robert, I needed to say something to get your attention. And it did, didn't it?
Shirley.
What? Robert? Robert?
Stop it!
Robert?
Stop it or something terrible will happen!
Stop it or something terrible will happen. My dear friends, what do you think? Another murder, perhaps?
Yes.
No, not yet. My dear friends, oh, look at the time. Look, why don't we all take a nice little break? My friends, I do hope you enjoyed the break. Yes?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, well, where were we? Oh, just to recap, in our story, the two quasi-lovebirds were meeting together, at which point our dear friend said,
I warn you, something terrible will happen!
well, immediately after that,
Well, you know what? I should have stayed married to Charles. He left, and I'm going to go find him.
So, Miss Marple, thank you for meeting me for tea. I so appreciate your presence.
Gordon, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. I'm afraid I might have got myself in a sticky wicket.
We don't want you to get your wicked sticky.
It's been like an odd to me. And I know that when these terrible crimes happen, that you've oft had an opportunity to lend the police some assistance.
Oh,
And I'm rather afraid to go to the police myself.
oh dear.
Yes. You see, I was at the Hubbard household the night that old Mother Hubbard was murdered. Something I haven't told a soul since the war. And I was secreted in a French revolutionary clandestine Nazi hideout. Because France was under Nazi.
Yes,
you know
yes,
it,
of course, of
yes.
course.
Well, old Mother Hubbard was our secret contact. We didn't know that her father was German, so she had such perfect German, but they placed her there in front of us. And you see, we had a relationship that we've carried on for years after the war. I would go over and we'd talk about our top secret dealings, as it were, since we couldn't talk to the normal folk about it. All the torture and murder and pipe bombs and bloodshed. The good old days. But I digress. You see, she entrusted me with this revised will. And I just had it notarized by her. And I heard a loud crash. And when I turned to look around, I saw her body hit the floor, and that was it. And I just scooted right out the back door and ran down the lane. And I've been hiding in my house ever since with this notarized will on it. I'm afraid I broke the seal and read it.
And?
Well, she divested both of her children of all of their holdings.
Oh, dear.
Gave them a small amount just to keep the household running, but the large holdings based on their tin industry is gone. It's in the hands of some orphans.
Oh, do you, so her children did not know this?
No, I was the first.
Oh. Well,
I assume not. I mean, I don't have much of a relationship with them. They seem terrible. Old James and all.
And you only heard the body fall? You did not see anyone?
No, I'm sorry. Jane, I know this sounds bad. I'm sure as I ran down the lane, I felt some eyes on the back of my head. And as I hid behind a tree, I saw Shirley looking down my way. I'm sure she saw me there, and it does look awfully incriminating, I must admit.
It does look incriminating. Well, in fact, if she expected to get the inheritance, well, she might have killed both her mother and her brother. Of course, if she suspected her brother was getting the inheritance, well, she might have killed him anyway so that it could come to her.
Or maybe it's somebody from the war, come back to seek their revenge. Some hidden Nazi cell extracting their revenge upon the Hubbards. till all of St. Mary Mead's cupboards are bare of hobbits.
My dear Gordon, you've always had a very crafty imagination, but no, I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
But this is quite a pickle. Well, I shall have to visit the detective inspector. You know he's my godson.
I do know, and I feel so much better with you on the case, for these things tend to get resolved quite neatly when your attention has been turned to them.
Oh, yes, dear. Don't you worry any more. I shall take care of it.
Should you take this will?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Oh, it's so odd to handle evidence like this, but thank you for entrusting me with it.
Yes, there's nobody better to entrust it with.
And so I made my way over to the detective inspector's office.
Jane, please, take a seat.
Oh, Craddock, I come bearing gifts. Well, you should know, this is the will of old Mother Hubbard, and I'm afraid it is not so positive.
Oh dear.
Yes, you see?
I'm a quick reader.
Yes.
Well, that is very good for all those orphans, but sad for Shirley.
Indeed. I don't know. I've known Shirley, and, well, she's a crafty little thing. She's always had a tendency to toy with men. She never could quite make it work with any one of them. I blame it on her webbed feet. Yes. Yes, I think it actually affected her heart. But in any case, but is she a murderer? I'm just not sure.
Jane, this is such a troubling case, and that is why I am so thankful that you have agreed to come and investigate it. I know you are not a police officer yourself, but you have the finest mind in all of St. Mary Mead, nay, England itself, nay, the world!
You flatter an old lady.
And well, these past 15 years that I have been detecting and inspecting and everything a detective inspector does, I've always been able to count on you to come in and offer your advice. Why, I recall when I was just a little boy, we would take those walks in the park, and you would tell me your detective stories, and why, I thought, one day I wish to be just like my godmother Jane.
And I would test you. Do you remember? I would tell you the story, I would lay out all the evidence, I made it as obvious as possible who the culprit was, and you still never guessed who it was. Do you remember that?
I recall, yes. But now I assure you, after 15 years, after so much studying, after working my way through the ranks,
you are top-notch.
I'm top-notch. Thank you so much, Jane.
Detective Inspector, we shall both work on this case in tandem. You have your ways and I have my little old lady ways.
Yes, well, I attempted at once to use your little old lady ways, but they did not work for me for some reason.
Dear, I shall leave you now.
Oh, Inspector.
Oh, Gooseberry! Right in here.
So lovely to see you again.
Pleasure is mine. Miss Marple,
Yes.
I have some new evidence that I found on Mr. James's body. You see, in his right left coat pocket, on the bottom left right, there was a letter addressed to Mr. Robert. Yes, and
Robert.
Yes, and upon reading the letter, it is a letter of confession. It says here that, my dear Robert, I must confess to you that I have feelings for you, and I have had feelings for you for a very long time. I have confessed my feelings for you to my sister, Shirley. She did not take this news well, but nonetheless, here we are. Yours, James.
Well, that further incriminates Shirley.
Unless Robert might have known this as well. Robert might have been uncomfortable with this information.
Well, he was in love with Shirley, was he not?
He was. But you know, this is England. Things of that nature are illegal. You might have been offended. I tell you what, Detective Inspector, why don't we both visit Robert together?
Oh, we can do a bit of cat and mouse.
Yes!
Using our old 1-2 strategy.
Yes! Okay, thank you very much, Constable.
And Gooseberry, while you're at it, please take this wheel and put it somewhere in evidence.
Yes, of course.
It's a very long wheel. Well, I shall say that this is Robert's living room, and he should be around in a few minutes ago.
Inspector. Miss Marple, I believe.
Yes, Robert?
Suppose Tammy let you in?
Yes, please, come. Take a seat right over here.
I must say it's jarring to come into one's own home and to find a police inspector and a neighbor in his home without having achieved his permission first. Might I ask if this has something to do with the murders that have been plaguing our town?
Yes, indeed it is. I was quite upset about the news and I just wanted to come pay a visit. You see, I am visiting all of the neighbors in the town to make sure everyone is okay.
Well, I suppose I thank you then. Well, yes, do make yourself comfortable. Tea if you like it. I assure you, I'm fine. A little shaken, of course. I'm sure you understand that, but largely fine. Very, very nice. I'm fine, very, very fine. Largely all right, then.
Are you attracted to men?
Well, whatever kind of question is that?
I'm sorry, it pertains to our investigation.
Does it, then? How so?
Well, and please feel free to divulge this information because Miss Marple and myself, are quite all right, in fact, despite the laws of this country.
Oh yes, very progressive we are.
We uncovered a love letter from, well, James, to you.
Love letter? Why, that's ridiculous. What are you talking about?
Oh, come now. Robert. It hurts, does it not?
All right, I suppose you know already. That letter that you wrote to me was hardly the first time that he had expressed feelings for me. And hardly the first time that I had had to rebuff him.
You rebuffed each other.
You make it sound dirty. All right! James and I were lovers.
I understand that James enjoyed bathing alongside other people. It came to my mind, not that it pertains to the case particularly, but whenever such an encounter occurred between the two.
Yes, James and I were bathing partners. But it was more than that. James and I were in love. Do you understand what I'm telling you, Inspector? Miss Marple, surely you can understand the pain of growing up in love in a society that not only frowns upon that love, but casts one in jail for expressing it.
Well, not personally myself, but yes, theoretically I do understand.
James and I, we spent many years in a clandestine relationship. While Margaret knew that something was coming between us, I made her believe that I was flirting with other women, see, when all the time it was James. I made her think that when she caught me with that twinkle in my eye and asked me who I was thinking of, I made her think it was any woman in the town rather than give her the slightest hint of suspicion that I harbored a love for him. But at last, he wanted to bring it all out in the open. He wanted to come public with it, and I simply couldn't allow that, you understand?
Of course.
The fortune, the reputation. And so I broke it off with him. I told him never to talk to me again. But then the letters began, letter after letter of him confessing and pouring out his love for me. How I cried as I burned each letter in the fire.
And you could not let the news come out.
No. And therefore I started an affair for real with Shirley. I had never lain with a woman before. Shirley was odd.
And apparently she had webbed feet.
She told me that all women do. Anyway, I recognize what this must look like. I recognize that I'm now a suspect, but you must believe me. I would never kill James. I would never kill James. I loved him.
He was struck by a large amount of wood. Is that something that you would do?
You make it sound dirty.
I'm sorry, sir. That was not my intention. Where were you on the night of his death?
Well, that's just the thing. On the night of his death, I had decided that I was going to accept his proposal. Why, that's the irony of it all. On the night of his death, I had gone into London in order to buy this engagement ring.
Oh, it's lovely.
Thank you. You see, I was going to throw all caution to the wind. I was going to get down on one knee and tell him that I could no longer keep myself from him. And so I provoked a fight with Shirley. Don't you see? I knew from the get-go that Shirley had no real affection for me. All I needed to do was to provoke her a little bit more until she broke it off with me. Then, being free of that, I could go to James and on bended knee beg him to take me back under any conditions he would demand. But when I came looking for him, and I approached his lane, I saw our neighbor, Caroline. She was foraging or so upon the branch. Why, I saw her do the strangest thing. I saw her pick up a large, dead moth from underneath a palm frond which was lying on the ground. And indeed it was. And place it there on the branch. Well, she ran off, and being curious, I went to see exactly what was so compelling about the branch, and there when I approached it, was James.
Detective Inspector, I believe my time here is done. My dear, I am so sorry for your loss.
Then you believe me?
I believe you loved James. I believe that.
And might I count on the discretion of the police inspector?
Absolutely, Robert.
Oh, Margaret, come right in. Oh dear, we have so much to catch up on. Let's jump right in, shall we?
Well, do make it quick. The Detective Inspector Craddock would like to speak with me.
Yes, so about the detective inspector,
Yes.
word has it that he told the town that your husband, well, soon-to-be ex-husband Robert, is a homosexual.
What?
Yes, and furthermore, Robert admitted that he had never lain with a woman other than Shirley. Are you meaning to tell me out of 12 years of marriage, you never laid together with him?
But no, I didn't.
Well, don't you think that's a bit odd?
Well, I don't think so. Have you seen him?
It would explain the separate bedrooms, yes.
Of course, dear.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. The reason I called you here today is I've got the most dreadful news.
What is it?
Robert is taking my house away.
No!
Yes.
He can't do this.
He has funded me for the last 12 years and, well, I don't have a job. I don't have a husband. I'm just a lonely, sad woman all on her own. And I'm just beside myself. I don't know what to do. You must talk to Robert.
Well, I just don't get why he's not the one dead. We wished it.
I am glad you brought that up again. I was thinking, I know we were simply joking. Last time we talked about this.
It was just my happy place to picture him dead and how we were going to do it.
Understandably.
Oh, dear.
So, what if Robert did die? Who happens to be the sole inheritor of his inheritance? Is it you still?
Well, yes, dear.
Oh, well, that's quite convenient, now, isn't
But
it?
we share everything, you know that. But, quickly, we need to wrap this up. The detective is going to be here any minute. And I just don't know how to deal with this news.
My friends, Margaret was overcome with a particular emotion. Can you guess what that was?
Glee. And
Glee!
It makes so much sense.
Oh dear, Margaret, are you going mad?
You see, it just makes sense. Every man that I'm with is homosexual.
Quite a pattern, isn't it?
It's a gift, I know.
Hi, Margaret. I'm sorry I didn't mean to be interrupting the two of you.
Oh, Detective Inspector, come right in. Isn't he handsome? Yeah, my sister is very eligible now.
Oh, silly girl. He's probably a homosexual.
Do you mind if I stay?
Carolyn, I do need to speak with him in private. We have much to speak about.
Oh, I understand. Well, get back to me because I just don't know what to do about the house.
We'll take care of that later,
I
dear.
don't want to be homeless.
Margaret,
Detective Inspector.
to address your first assertion, I am indeed a homosexual.
Well, of course you are, dear. Look at your clothes. They match.
But it is something that I do not find any shame in being. I hope you understand my attraction to you would. It's because of that, not anything else. And the case, of course.
Oh, silly man. I'm well aware of homosexuals. You see, before I met Robert, I was in the theatre.
I see. But never mind that matter. I wish to ask a little bit more about, well, your husband's relations.
Oh, the visual.
The two of you were married, not out of love, but out of money, I understand.
It was convenient, you see. Let me tell you about it. I'm from royalty. But I lost everything. My real name is Lady Marmalade. I was dancing in France. You know where. I was quite good, you see. And everybody comes, mostly homosexuals. And there was Robert. And I think that he loved what I had on because he said he loved the matching shoes and the feather boa and he asked to try it on. And I thought, well, why not? He looks stunning in it. And I twirled about, and of course course, me falling in love with a homosexual, it made sense. I fell in love with him instantly. Why didn't I know? Why didn't I see it?
Can I ask, when you were a little girl, when I was a little boy, I had a dream. Did you have a romantic partner in mind when you were a dear, sweet youngling?
Oh, yes, I did. You see, the person I had in mind was a young boy who was a ballerina. He was lovely. He was my neighbor. And I would watch him dance, and I thought, oh, he's stunning. I want to dance with him. And so I learned how to dance. He taught me, and I was quite good. But he left. And so I followed him later in life. I followed him to the place I danced with in France. But he liked men, you see. But I thought, please, couldn't you just see me? Look at me. Can't you just see me? I'm pretty. I can dance. Men should love me, but they don't. So I needed to find a better home after I lost everything. I didn't tell Robert I was a lady, but he had all this money, and I thought, I actually knew he was a homosexual. I saw how he looked at other men. I saw how he liked to twirl in the...
Margaret, I'm sorry, but can I give you a piece of advice?
Oh, please.
You deserve better. I think you settled for someone who had a lot of money. You were sad because you were once royalty and you wished to reascend. But you're right. You deserve love, and you deserve a man who's willing to see that in you. And I don't think you should stop chasing that.
Oh my goodness, I feel like you're flirting with me, but that would just not be right, is it?
Inspector Craddock, forgive me.
Oh, watch your bulging muscles, man. You almost knocked me clear on my Oh, Gooseberry, I didn't realize you've made such a transformation. You're so stunning now. What were you about to say? Please take a seat on the couch right there. Snuggle up tight.
I seem to have forgotten. Hello.
Hello. Your clothes don't match.
No, they don't. I apologize.
I'm sorry, I have to go to the loo. I'll be right back. Do find something to talk about.
I'm an officer assisting the inspector in the investigations.
Yes?
Yes. I must say that I just came here to give him a bit of news, but I see that you seem quite upset. Is there anything that I could do? I'm so sorry regarding the news I heard.
He was so tongue-tied, our gooseberry, that he forgot himself, and in fact, the news he was going to deliver to Detective Inspector, he admitted right there outwardly to Margaret. Can you guess what it was?
Robert's dead.
Oh.
What else did we hear?
He's the orphan got the inheritance.
He's the orphan who got the inheritance.
You see, I'm the orphan who hath received the inheritance.
You have money?
Yes.
Well, they married for money.
But I have more to offer than just money to the lucky gal that were to come into my life. I have many, many things to offer. A big heart, a big wallet, and...
Well, I think I've learned something these past few years. I have a list of questions for you. Do you wear a feather boa?
I've never heard of such a thing. A snake that could fly?
Do you like matching socks with your shoes? Do you carry a purse?
So sorry to interrupt. Margaret, I just was coming back because I thought of an idea, but I see you have company.
Actually, I should be on my way. So lovely to meet you. Perhaps our paths will cross again.
I come back for tea in the future. I just have to tell you something. I was thinking the best way to kill Robert is with a big, fat mallet.
Oh, yes, let's do it, for I have found
Do you still love our croissant? Pick up a piece for them.
I brought you some pencils
All right.
because I broke your pencil so long ago.
Yes, I remember this. Quite a gift. You told me also that I was playing.
Gordon, you must help me. You must help me. The situation is dire. Everything's gone amiss. Everything. The situation is that nothing was left to me at all. I'm penniless. I can't even wear this in my head anymore. It's like I'm going crazy.
It's like I'm going crazy. My dears, she was going crazy. And in fact, after she said those words, another person in our story died. But can you guess who it was?
Robert.
Unanimous Robert. And the poor man's body was discovered like this.
I don't think you're handling the grief well, dear. Now tell me again exactly how you found Robert.
That's priceless. Oh, Caroline. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he was in my bedroom, in my closet, and he was wearing all of my clothes.
How odd.
And around his neck. Honestly, you cannot write this thing. You just can't. A feather boa. Strangling him, darling.
Margaret?
It was really quite awful.
Margaret, I need to ask you something quite serious.
Yes?
Margaret, did you kill Robert?
Oh, God, I wish I had.
But how could it happen in your bedroom, in your closet, in your feather boa?
I don't know, Caroline. That's just it. When I found him, honestly, I was quite happy. It made me laugh, obviously, but...
Well, what else did you notice? There's got to be something else. Did you see anyone else there? Hear any loud noises? What else?
Well, I did. Now that I think about it. You see, I was downstairs, and I heard this funny tapping, like somebody was dancing, like tap dancing, like the way that we used to do at the shows. And then I heard a horrible crash, and I rushed to come upstairs to see what it was, and it was Robert.
Oh dear. Well, I have called Miss Marple. She should be here any moment. She's on her way, and she'll know just what to do.
Oh, hello, my dears.
It's terrible, Miss Marple. Come right in.
Oh, Miss Marple, please have a seat.
I am so very sorry for your loss, my love. I met him just the other day. Well, he was quite sweet, in fact. I felt quite bad for him. And, well, now I feel that for you.
Oh, please don't. Don't feel bad for me, you see. Frankly, I wanted him dead. I did. But, oh, it was just a fantasy. I just pretended to want him dead, dear Robert. He gave me a life, you see.
My dear, you remind me of someone. Yes, when I was younger, I had a neighbor myself. She pretended to like all the boys. She flattered herself quite the Jezebel. But she loved just the one, and she would turn him away over and over again. He would come and he would profess his love daily, and she would always rebuff him. But in fact, she loved him dearly.
It's true. I did love Robert. I did.
I honestly did.
Oh, I've just thought of a piece of information I should probably tell you, Miss Marple. Shirley has been lurking around Robert's house. I've seen it. I am the nosy neighbor on the block, and I walk up and down the street with my little dog, Prippy, and Prippy and I were going by Robert's house. I haven't quite told you this. I didn't want to upset you, but Shirley, the woman that Robert was having an affair with when he was married to Margaret, has been lurking.
Caroline, you remind me of someone as well.
Oh,
Caroline, my dear, why were you lurking about the neighbor's house?
oh, well, it's just my duty, neighborhood watch. Me and little Peppy and I, yes, we just stroll around. It's nice to know what's going on. I like to be in control of what happens in the neighborhood. It's very important to know everyone's
what
business.
What would happen if you were not in control?
Well, I don't want to think of that. I need to be in control of everything that happens.
Oh, come now. You also remind me of someone. Someone who, well, it was the farmer's daughter. And she had to control all of the field hands on the farm. And if she did not, well, she feared that they would all come and kill her. Do you have such thoughts as well?
It's just very important I know everything. Please excuse me. I think, I...
Caroline, just tell her.
Yes, occasionally I do hear voices, but I've got them under control. I really do. My doctor prescribed me some lovely medicine and some Willow's herb that I am drinking daily. It's very helpful. But the voices feel better if I just, do the walks, take care of things, check off my list. I have a list with 25 items I do every single hour. And, yes.
Routine helps you.
Oh, so much.
Okay.
Yes. That is all. I just figured I'd mention it. It was suspicious that Shirley was lurking like she was.
Why, thank you for the information. Margaret.
Oh, Miss Marple.
I'm so sorry once again.
I just wanted to protect him. I truly did.
Come, my dears. Why don't you come over to my home? I'll take care of you there.
Thank you.
Sheila, darling, now please take a seat. And promise you'll...
Can we sit in the garden where it's a little cooler?
It's all right, fine. Please, if the coolness may help you, just promise me you'll keep your temper.
But it's very hard.
I know it is, darling.
And I walked by and saw you with her.
She gave me this box of pencils and professed her love to me and then threw herself at me like some common Jezebel.
Well, she is a common Jezebel. The question is, why were you meeting her? You said that was in the past.
Well, she's just a poor, broken woman. She's lost, but we must have some charity in these situations. Mustn't we, Sheila? Poor Shirley has lost both her mother and she's lost her brother and I don't know why.
Oh, Shirley! What about poor me, your wife, who has to put up with this? And who has to hear rumors that you have been caught breaking and entering, not just a pencil snapper.
Yes, that was my secret profession in the war. I was an expert thief. Those habits are hard to break. These nimble fingers were made to thieve.
Well, what else were those nimble fingers made to do?
To love you, darling, and only you. And the occasional French woman on the Riviera. I mean, just the one.
What? Do you know what this means? This time I do have to divorce you.
What?
I cannot be seen with a woman who's basically a prostitute and have a husband who is a criminal. I have my standards. This isn't America. This is St. Mary Mead.
But, my love, I only have eyes for you.
But then you have other parts for other women, apparently.
That was all in the past.
I saw you with her. I saw you.
And I brought you the pencils and set you down and showed you exactly the playbook that happened.
Oh, and I should believe it?
Of course you should. I've been nothing but your faithful Gordy ever since I returned. I've left my transgressions in the past.
Well, you're also going to be leaving your marriage in the past.
Sheila!
Gordon?
Should I storm out or should you?
I get the house, you storm out.
All right. The gardener's shed for me then.
Glastonbury in my office right now.
Oh, yes, sir, Inspector, yes, sir.
3 dicks!
Oh, right nice office, Inspector, right nice office. Never been in the boss's office before, no.
There is a reason for that, Glastonbury.
Oh, here is the feather boa that you asked me to retrieve from the evidence locker, sir, the one that was found on poor Robert's body. I must say, he wore it well.
Well, it's great that you fetched that, because I was just looking for it and I couldn't find it.
Inspector,
Yes.
I do have to ask you, your strategy of revealing to all the town that Robert was in fact a homosexual. How did you find comfort in betraying his confidence like that?
Glastonbury, it was a difficult thing to do. But I felt that in St. Mary Mead there are those that, well, they don't wish to see progress. And, in fact, I read the will which was left by Robert. And he said that it was his dying wish that I unveil this information in hope that he die a martyr, that those that loved him would see him for who he was, and not for some silly label that some might deem inappropriate.
Are you saying that it might pave the way for others who have been holding on to such a secret, sir?
Very much, Glastonbury. Let me get this bit of feather boa on your face. It's quite distracting.
I put it there on purpose, sir.
Now, Miss Jane Marple should be by any moment now. She should be
Scared the blooming hell out of me.
My Detective Inspector, I wanted to give you an invitation personally. I am going to have a tea party. I have invited the whole town over to my home, and it starts in just under 1 hour. I would love to have you there.
Jane, I can't be having a tea party. I'm trying to solve 3 murders.
Exactly. You must come over.
No, Jane, I'm trying to solve the murders. I can't be going to your
Detective
silly party. What is it?
You must come to my tea party.
No, Jane, you really don't understand. Oh!
You'll be there.
Oh! I
And
get
you
it.
should come too.
Oh, well, I got you.
All right, we will see you there. Hour's time.
And so the whole town collected in my parlour at my home. My dears, thank you ever so much. Oh, it's a wonderful opportunity for the community to come together. We've had so much grief in this town. We must all bandy together.
Oh, and you have Hubbard tea. It's the best tea in all St. Mary Mead.
Best tea, yes. Caroline, yes. It's the right time for you. You need to stick to that schedule.
Yes.
Schedule. So, I invited you all over because, well, I have done some poking about, and, well, I have solved the murder. I know who the murderers are.
Murderers?
Murderers? Yes.
Murderers?
Multiple murderers.
Yes. Did you say it yet? Yes, sometimes I find it's the most obvious folks. What? My dear, you knew the inheritance was going to go to your brother, and so you had to make away with both your mother and your brother.
Fratricide and matricide. Oh dear.
How did you know? How did you know it was me?
Well, It's your webbed feet. I knew someone once when I went on holiday. She was a woman with webbed feet, and she killed.
And she was from Brazil, was she not?
She was from Brazil.
Well, wouldn't you kill too if everyone called you Ducky? I go everywhere. I can't go in a bathing suit. I can't go out barefoot and feel the grass in my toes because I only have one big toe on each foot.
But that's not the real reason, my dear. The webbed foot, it affects your heart. You are incapable of love. That's
right.
why webbed feet don't work. It hurts the heart. It blocks it. And so what is murder to someone who doesn't have a heart?
That's right. I don't have feeling. The only thing I care about is money. And I don't even have that now. All I can do is this.
No! She must be
my
arrested.
lips. It touched my lips. I only care about one thing. Redeeming my...
Oh my goodness.
Cuff her still?
She's dead. But you said murderers. Do you mean she wasn't the only culprit?
No! That poor Robert's wife.
Margaret?
Oh, she's a great actress, that one. She was in the theater. When I visited you the other day, I was testing you. And well, I could see it in your twitch. The twitch on your nose. Those who twitch their nose always lie. And so I tested you in that moment, and instead of giving the truth, you lied about actually loving him. You did not. You wanted him gone.
Yes, I wanted him gone, but it wasn't about his money. You see, he slept with her. I didn't care about him sleeping with men, but why her?
The only woman he had ever laid with.
So what I did was I went into that closet where he lived, and I took my feather boa right off his neck and accidentally strangled him when I took it off, because I thought, you know, I am cursed with loving gay men, and perhaps if I kill the last one I was with, this curse would be broken and some straight guy would like this. And why not?
I've had enough. Gooseberry, take her away.
Ooh.
I believe this tea party is over. Would you all excuse me? I wish to have a moment with Miss Marple. And if you could please remove this party.
Oh, I'll be glad to.
Thank you for the party. It was very nice.
Quite a minute. Not sure why we have to be here, though.
Gordon and Sheila, I do work it out.
Oh, thank you.
That's
This is
why
to bring
you
us
like
together.
to yes.
Tell your masterful mind works in mysterious ways.
It's nothing like a good murder to bring a couple together.
That's what I always say.
You see, I can't. You shan't be jealous of her anymore. She's dead.
Just how I like.
Just like Oliver's French hearts. No.
Well, that's another one in the books. Thank you.
Another one in the books for us as a team.
I was very sad to see those three go. Mother Hubbard, the son, and his love. I hope somewhere, up there in the great beyond, three of them
Are bathing together.
I was going to say the same thing. It's that kind of thing that makes me think that if we can think on the same track there, then one day I might be as great a detective as you.
My boy, that day will come. And so, my friends, yes, what is the moral of this story?
Don't bathe with your mother.
Do not bathe with your mother. Live your truth fully and love. The end.